let us remind you that the residents of East Palestine are still suffering at the hands of a government, both state and federal, that left them behind. And lo and behold, they don't even have a state senator that gives a care about their suffering. But you know what? I'm gonna let a resident from East Palestine tell you what's happening.
I had breathed in chemicals and I had a raw rash all over my lips that took about 3 weeks to get rid of. Just recently, like when it rains, my basement floods with chemicals and my nose starts gushing blood. I choke on it. It's terrible. And my house hasn't even been tested. It's not in priority for Norfolk Southern, but I'm getting sick every single day, whether it be a cough, a bloody nose, just fatigued. I mean, it's terrible.
And still to this point, it's still affecting you in that way.
Yes, and it's just been getting like progressively worse for me. Like my cough, my allergies, my nosebleeds. Like at first it was like one nosebleed here and there. Now it's constant. Like I have to worry about what I'm wearing because I'm scared I'm gonna get blood on my shirt.
Just ridiculous. That's a resident. This reporting is coming from Status Quo. So Big Woz, your thoughts?
I feel really bad for that young lady. This isn't even to speak of the long-term ramifications of the pollution that was caused by this derailment. But yeah, it's like you always say, Nina, it's almost as if these guys are bought and paid for. You know, when the disaster is at its most politically heightened stage in the very beginning, of course, here comes Senator Vance on his white horse to come and save the great people of East Palestine. But as time goes on, his owners, his masters, they get their hooks into him and they remind him quite gently, you remember where your bread is buttered. It's not with the actual people who you've been elected to serve. It's with your donors and your masters. And he went right back to it. And the sad part is, who's gonna hold this guy accountable, right? By the time he comes up for re-election, I wonder if people will even remember this disgusting display of cynicism. I'm doubtful. I think politicians bank on this short memory, and that's why they do all of this raping and pillaging, right? They just go out and do the bidding of their betters, and it's sad, but rarely is it this stark, right? The other day, I don't know if you saw this, Nina, in Florida, Ron DeSantis land, state senators are telling migrant workers like, you know that bill that we put out that told you we hate you and we don't want you here and that I co-signed? No, we were just kidding. That was just meant to scare people from coming. We want you back. We don't want you to go to the fields of Georgia and all of that stuff. Like these people just pay lip service to stuff. And then the agriculture industry was like, guys, no, you're actually, it's not because they realized it was wrong. It's like, guys, you're actually messing up the money. And you see an about face. And I think Vance is doing the exact same thing. It's just so much more horrible.
Yeah, no, it really is. I mean, and he knows, he went there. You know, I went there too. It really is a damn shame. There's no other way to describe it. You know, there's a quote that I think that is very apropos for this moment from Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm. I am paraphrasing her, but she basically said when it comes down to morality and money, morality rarely wins. And that is the God's honest truth. So whether we're talking about the residents of East Palestine or any other poor working class people across this country, they are usually the ones to lose when they have to come to face with corporate powers and money. And another point that you made, Big Woz, I totally agree. 5 years from now, because Vance is in the US Senate, so it's a 6-year term. By the time it comes around again, he'll be telling a different story. He won't mind, he won't let the truth get in the way of a good story. And the folks of East Palestine probably won't even remember that he sold them out, and he sold them out quickly. But I hope somebody runs against this dude.